Hi there folks, and welcome back to the IB and Andy Fishing channel. I hope you're doing really well. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the subs button somewhere down there. If you're already subscribed, welcome back, good to see you again. You know those sessions that you have sometimes where you sat at home doing nothing with no real plan to go fishing, and then the sun just pops out and you're like, should we go?
Alright then.
Should we go? Yeah, alright, let's go fishing. What's the plan? I don't know. What should we do? I don't know. What's already rigged up? The Stillwater stuff.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah, here we are. In fairness to us, the rivers are a little bit flooded at the moment.
Yeah, we had a lot of rain yesterday. The rivers are pretty knackered. We weren't going to film today. The sun came out. We were like, do you know what? Why not? Let's go out and do some Stillwater fishing. So that's exactly what we've come down to do. Totally out of our comfort zones. You guys have seen us do this before. We are no experts.
Yes, and please stop shouting.
Am I being too loud?
Are you being too loud for my liking?
Everyone was very reassuring about that. We can be loud. It's not us, it's them.
Yeah.
So we've come down to a little Stillwater. It's very clear, nice light winds. We've got 3 rods rigged up, a floater, an intermediate and a sinker.
You mean intermittent?
Your intermittent line, yeah. And the plan is just to try and catch a few fish. We've got, what, 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours in total before the light completely goes. IB, what's your plan?
Well, I think I'm going to go with my intermediate line.
Yep.
Maybe an ostrich fly, maybe 2 ostriches. I'm
Double
not sure.
ostrich,
Double
oh my
ostrich.
God.
We'll have a go, but I'm hoping I just need 1 fish. I'm not asking for a lot, just 1 fish, and then I'm happy.
That'd be really cool. Let's give it a go while we've got this light.
Here we go again. Stillwater fly fishing, try 2. We're yet again casting into the wind, into a very cold wind, may I add. We had some snow here yesterday in Derbyshire.
Okie doke, so as ever, we've pitched ourselves with the wind blowing into our faces. 2 different rigs. IB's on the intermediate. She's going to pull a couple of mini lures, I think. I've actually gone for the sinking line. Sunburst type booby on a point and a couple of buzzers. I must admit, I don't know too much about my sinking line because it's about 15 years old. It's been a long time since I've done this. And oh wow, there's a fish just appeared right next to the flies. God, literally I just flopped them out in front of me and a fish appeared right behind them.
Okay, let's try to make a decent cast. Well, that didn't work out, did it? Yep, I'm into it, woohoo! Oh my god, only a couple of casts and I'm in. And it's pulling. Ideally, I want to play this fish off the reel. I'm not great with line management. Andy, what are you playing about? Catch a fish. Oh, I'm so happy. So happy. As long as it doesn't come off. Where's my net? Where's my net? Yes. I will show you, Andy, how it's done. And it wasn't even a good cast. It was like a horrendous cast. I don't even deserve that fish, if I'm honest. Although it does make me quite pleased that I caught the fish that early while everyone's watching. On the ostrich fly as well. Come on, Rainbow. Yes. Yes. Silent celebration. Whoa, 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 whoa.
IB, worth coming?
Yes, 100%. I said I wanted 1 fish, so that's it. Let's go home.
Go home now.
The fish is extremely lively. The water is freezing cold. I don't want to get my hands wet again, basically, for the rest of the day. I think I'm going to be quite happy to just have them in my pocket. It's quite a nice size rainbow, to be honest. There you go. Nice fish. Very welcome. So early on the session, but I'm hoping I might be able to catch 1 more. And Andy, you think you're going to catch me up?
Well, I've got a job to do now, haven't I?
Well, Andy, just saying.
Well, that's a good start. At least it means there could be some fish here. As I was saying, I don't know much about the line because it's at least 15 years old. I know it's a sinker. Past that, not a whole lot. I must admit, this is a type of fishing I'm not very good at, but there's only one way to learn. And I'm watching the end of that fly line like a hawk. Super slow figure of 8 retrieve and just waiting for it to pull round. Pretty sure I'm making this sound easier than it's going to be.
Right, got quite lucky there with my ostrich fly. It was a nice size rainbow as well. Could get used to that. It is not easy to cast in this wind though, I will tell you that. I'm letting it sink a little bit. I'm fishing with the tip down. doing short pulls, I guess.
Pretty comfortable with the idea of my technique. I'm just not very good at fishing it, that's all. Just kind of waiting for something to hang itself on one of those buzzers. It's a real confidence thing, this, and obviously not doing much of this style of fishing. I've got no great reason to be massively confident in it. Really having to back myself here. I instinctively want to move these just faster than you're supposed to. This really isn't a technique I have a huge amount of experience in, full stop, but particularly recently. All I'm trying to do is let this thing sink and just kind of edge it along one long strip every 10-15 seconds or so, but I just find it so difficult to do that. I really want to kind of figure of eight it along or pull it like IB's doing because it works. This is as much a battle between me and myself and my kind of fishing instincts as it is about me and the fish.
Oh, yes, that's a fish. Ooh. Didn't expect that. That was aggressive take. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's a jumpy one. You know what's the secret of catching trout here? Make sure you make horrible casts, the most horrific casts, and then you will catch one. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's off. I don't think it knows what's happening yet, but when it finds out, it's gonna shoot off again. Yeah, he's going. Again on the same fly, on the ostrich. That absolutely smashed it. It wasn't a gentle take at all. Come on. Yes. In the net. Second trout of the day for IB, and both trout were genuinely on a cast where I would not even want to show on camera. They were that awful. The line literally went midway, just slack. I totally let go of it at the wrong time, but doesn't matter, I caught a fish. Right, so very energetic rainbow. Not as big as the other one. Nonetheless, so much fun in catching these when nothing else is available and shoots off loads of energy. This one and the other one is basically both where when I was made a cast and the cast was so dreadful that I just totally gave up on it, and I was like just ripping it through trying to get the lures back the flies back so I could recast it, and both times I had a fish, so maybe there's something in it. Maybe I just need to crank it up a little bit. Let's see.
Righty, so that's two fish for IB. She is absolutely walloping me. I've got a fab on the point and then two dialbacks on the droppers. It means I can move it. I'm not very good at fishing static. Just having those dialbacks means that I can give it a bit of a figure of eight and feel like I'm doing something, because that static thing just doesn't do it for me. I didn't try ripping it back. I just said to IB actually off camera, I heard her retrieving on that last fish, and in my head I went, what the hell is she doing? And literally the second I thought it, she was in. So maybe there's something in that, and possibly I could have a look at just stripping a couple of lures back a little bit faster than I did. I'm going to stick with this for the moment, but I'm going to stick with it for too long, I don't think, because well, so far it hasn't worked.
What's happening, Andy?
Well,
what do you think? What is it that I'm doing and you're not?
Oh well, I think possibly I've kind of switched between three techniques already, so yeah, I've been switching around a little bit. I started off on the kind of buzzers and booby sinking line thing.
Boobies.
And in truth, while I think it may well actually be the right thing to do, it's something I'm just not very good at. The static approach just doesn't suit me. Instinctively I want to be moving the flies and all that stuff, and actually with that you basically just leave it sat still and give it a strip every 10 or 15 seconds. I'm not very good at that. Just switch back to, I've put a fab on the point, then a couple of dial back so I can figure of eight it around. But you are absolutely hammering me at the moment.
Yes, I am. 2-0 to IB.
And you just said that you're really stripping these back when you're getting the takes.
Yeah, so basically both of these casts, they were not gonna lie, absolute shite. So I was just literally just trying to get the flies back as soon as possible so I could remake a cast, and both times I had a take.
Well, that's the one thing I didn't try when I had the two mini lures on, was ripping them back. So maybe if my approach that I'm using at the moment doesn't work, I'll switch back to the mini lures and try ripping them back. One thing's for sure, I'm going to be watching what you're doing like a hawk.
Don't watch me cast though.
let's try and catch a few more, eh?
Let's do it. Okay, since I'm an absolute expert at stillwater fly fishing, we'll give it another go. I feel like I worked hard for that fish as well. Not with my casts, because the casts were dreadful, but just tried my best. Ooh, bang that one out. Let's try ripping it back really fast and see. Ooh, I had a follow. Let's see.
Well, Ivy's just had a follow. She's definitely getting more interest on those lures than I'm getting with this. So I've made that change. I've gone down to 2 flies. I've got the little mini cat's whisker on the point, and I've got that black tadpole on the top dropper. So yes, I have got exactly the same 2 flies on as Ivy. Difference is that because I'm on the sinker rather than the inter, I'll be able to fish mine just a little bit further down than she can, which might possibly make a difference. It'll be interesting. It is really cold, and it was very cold overnight. Actually, we had snow yesterday. You know, could have moved these fish down in the water column a little bit.
Oh, it's cold. The water's freezing cold. Ah, I think I had a take.
I've got a fish right in front of me. Just cruised in front of me. I wonder if he'll eat. Try and get it down to his level. I think I've probably spooked him. It was interesting actually. While I was rigging, I had another fish swim past me right down this margin and fed a couple of times. Unfortunately, I didn't have any flies on at the point when he came past. But I just wondered if, in conjunction with what IB was talking about with catching her fish on crap casts at pretty short range, whether that's what these fish are doing. I wonder if they're cruising this margin, looking to feed off the, it's pretty sparse weed, but it's weed. Really interesting that. Oh, that might have been a fish. Possibly a take. Yep, there it is. There it is. So he took it. I didn't quite hook him. Gave it 4 or 5 really fast strips and then stopped it again. And as soon as I stopped it, I just saw that line slide away. Come on, buddy, in you come. Oh, he's off. Right there. Gosh, dang it. My own fault. If I'd have had the net a bit closer, I'd have probably got him in. But gives me a little bit of an idea about possibly what the strat is. Maybe that faster retrieve is the way to go. So I've moved about 30 yards further down the bank. It's not necessarily because I think there are more fish concentrated in this area. I'm just a bit wary of standing and flogging one place to bits. You know, these fish aren't completely daft if they hear boots in the water or fly line crashing down in the same place all the time. I think they're probably going to try and avoid it. Oh, that was a little tap. Definitely just the most subtle of taps. Trying to give this lots of stops now. Give this fish a chance to catch up with it. Definitely a tap. Oh, that's a fish. There we go. Just down the edge. I thought that one was worth a go. I hadn't been in the water much more than a couple of seconds, so I must have dropped that pretty close to him. I wonder if I can get him on the reel. Oof. Just turn that drag down a little bit. Actually, it's pretty tight. Got his head down. Probably had a chance there to stun him in, but now he's got his head down. Definitely haven't. Amazing how strong these rainbows are in this cold water. Fantastic fun at this time of year. Still going. Interesting how the fights differ as well. I mean, this guy's tumbling around and deep runs, gets his head down like that. Some of them zip around on the surface. IB's jumped. Really nice fight. Ooh. Here he comes. Are you done? Ah, he took the little black tadpole. Good stuff. Oh no, he's still not ready. There we go. That'll do you. Yeah. Totally stole the entire technique there off IB, who's definitely showed the way early doors. Jeez, that's a strong fish. Actually, it's a pretty good one as well. It's quite a nice one. So that one down the edge was definitely worth it. It's only shallow there. Nice hard fighting rainbow. Proper scrap in that cold water. Really pleased with that one. Cool, I'd rather you than me in there, buddy. Off he goes. Kicked away nicely. IB, I pretty much owe that one to you, I think. You've set the precedent there with that kind of pull double lure scenario in the edges. It looks like it's going to work.
I think I might be giving up, Andy.
Why? Don't give up.
It's because I already had more fish than you.
So far. And only because one of mine fell off, you were lucky.
Not just because of that, just because I'm a lot better angler than you are, clearly, at Stillwater fishing for trout. But you're changing techniques now, aren't you?
Yeah, actually, yes. So the pull and lures hasn't really worked. You haven't had any follows for a while. I haven't had any takes for a while. There's this nice breeze got up, and I've just found a bung on the floor, a little foam bung. So I've grabbed the floating line rod. I'm just going to drift a couple of buzzers underneath the bung for a little while. I haven't had any proper committal takes. These fish are following it sometimes, but not that interested. I just think it's worth a go while this riffle's got up. It's not something, again, I've done a whole lot of in the past, but the conditions look right for it, so why not?
Do you think it's going to work?
I think what I'm doing at the moment isn't working, so...
Well, I don't think you're going to catch anything, so...
You never think I'm going to catch anything, though.
That is true, but I think I've given up. I'm really cold now.
It is so cold. I've been re-rigging for about the last half an hour. I just can't feel my fingers to tie the knots.
It took 2 people to get the end of the tippet. That's how cold our fingers are. But it's nice, isn't it? It's definitely worth it coming out for a few hours. And we are started to lose the light now a little bit, so it's quite late. But it's definitely worth coming out. And if you can catch one on your dirty bung, on the dirty buzzer, it might all work out all right.
I'll give it a good go, that's for sure. Right, so I've gone for that big orange bung that I found on the floor. Literally all I'm going to do is cast this a couple of rod lengths. Yeah, that'll do. I'm just going to let this drift on this riffle. I think that'll do. The takes and the fish are so kind of non-committal that maybe something a bit more static is the way to go. This is almost like being back on the rivers fishing for grayling. There we go, there's fish. Yep. Straight away. Exactly what we hoped for. Wasn't a big pull under, wasn't anything dramatic. It just kind of stopped. Ooh, oh, well, now he's just realised what's going on. That's taken, what do you reckon, IB? 20 seconds? Deadly, absolutely deadly. I've been watching these fish cruise around for the last hour. A little bit smug, yeah. A little bit smug. Been watching these fish cruise around for the last hour. Just delicate takes. It's worked. It's been on my mind for about the last 40 minutes. But my hands have been so cold I didn't want to do it. It's about now that I wish I'd changed the GoPro battery, because I had a low GoPro battery warning the second I turned it on. We could lose footage at any point here. Come on, in you come. In you come. Yeah, what a little score that is. Nice little victory. And another fish followed it in as well. IB could be on something there. Well, little victory for the old bung and buzzer. Thought it might work. I wasn't expecting it to work within the first 20 seconds. Delicatest of takes. Delicatest? Most delicate of takes. But definitely a fish. Just saw that indicator flinch. And off he goes. Now, IB's just said off camera that apparently she's going to have a go with the bung, which seems a little bit unfair to me, but being as it's Christmas, IB, I'll let you have a go.
I just want to be kind to you because you've been moaning about your cold hands. Warm your hands up, I'm doing you a favour.
Thanks, IB, that's really kind.
Right, so I 100% haven't just stolen Andy's rod. Well, this is interesting, isn't it? Well, I consider myself a winner here and you're the loser.
Why am I the loser? We caught the same amount of fish.
Well, because I think your fish were flukes.
Okay.
Especially the second one. since I didn't catch straight after.
Yeah, that means it must be a fluke if you didn't catch.
It must be a fluke. And mine were just, obviously, I'm just that good. So I figured out straight away, a few casts in. And
that is true, to be fair, you did catch one very, very early, whereas it took me a little while to catch up. It is so cold, isn't it?
Really cold,
we've pretty much lost the light now.
In fairness, it was snowing yesterday. So
I kind of get the feeling that we walked into a fishery that had had some sunlight and the fish had woken up and they were cruising the margins and they were willing to chase.
Yeah.
And through the course of the afternoon, it's got darker and it's got colder, and the hatch has perhaps decreased, the bug activity's decreased, and actually we're seeing very little now, are we? There's no rising fish, no cruising fish.
But it was still fun.
Well, we've both just about gone through a GoPro battery,
Yeah,
which means we've
yeah.
fished for just over an hour. To give you an idea, I mean, for an hour's getting out of the house, I think this is really cool.
It's definitely worth it. Oh, 100% it's definitely worth it. And again, we're doing something different. It's not something we're both used to. I'm obviously an expert, but Andy's quite...
I'm still learning, you're an expert.
He's still learning, so that's fine.
In all seriousness, we are totally out of comfort zone. We really don't know what we're doing fishing Stillwaters.
With it being so small, and when we came up here last time and this time, there are anglers here that really know what they're doing, and I don't know, you're being put a little bit on the spot. At least that's how I feel.
I'll tell you what though, Ivy, they're not catching that many more fish than us.
Than me.
Well, they're not catching that many more fish than you. They're catching loads more fish than me. I'm not quite sure how the maths works on that one. You know what I mean though? It's not like we're getting battered by everyone. We're just about keeping up with the locals, and given we don't do this, I think that's alright. I'm pretty happy with that.
I think the more we do it, the more we're gonna know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sure that's how fishing works.
We just go through a process of learning. It'll be really fun to learn something new, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that I'm learning this at the worst
Oh god, yeah,
this
is as hard as it gets. I mean, the hope is that come spring there'll be buzzers hatching and stuff like that. We'll be able to fish the floating lines and it'll be a lot more straightforward. Yeah, it's bloody hard. It is the reality. So I think we're doing all right. Guys, let us know in the comment section. Do you think we're doing all right? What should we be doing differently? Let us know. We are open to ideas on this one, aren't we?
100%.
I'll tell you what else I'm open to.
A warm cup of tea.
A nice, getting in that car, getting back to the house and getting warm is so cold.
It's to the point where my face muscles have frozen. Do you not find it hard talking?
I'm not struggling with the talking for a change, but I don't think I'm going to be able to let go of the tripod that I'm holding the camera with. I think that hand's stuck. So guys, we're going to say thank you very much for watching this vlog. Really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, give it a like.
You're nice and warm at home.
Yeah, stay warm, stay safe, and IB and I are going to see you again very soon for some more fishing and stuff.
You sounded like Boris Johnson then.
Very, very drunk. Take care, folks. Bye bye.